Hello there. Still plenty of standing water from the heavy rain on Thursday, coupled with the snow melt. Of course, here's a flooded park in Warwickshire as captured by one of our weather watchers. Bright skies, but lots of water on the ground, and there are still a number of flood warnings in place across England and Wales. The good news is it should be a much drier weekend of weather, but with low pressure still close by, we're still likely to see some showers and indeed some longer spells of rain here and there at times.
Listen, we've had a lot of rainfall over the last few days, haven't we? There are still about 92 flood warnings in force at the moment across England. But today and tomorrow, the weather is going to be a little bit quieter. There will be some showers, some rain in the forecast, but also some bright spells as well. So not as wet or as cold or as snowy as it's been recently as well.
Imagine that at 12 stone.
Felt like it needed a caption. And it, of a word coming out of it, like, oh dear, it's not gone well, or something. Poor Fluffy. I'm feeling sorry for Fluffy.
Let caption writing not be your next career move.
So, what do you think?
It wasn't very snappy. I wasn't sure if it was alive or dead.
No, it was very cold.
It was like
no, it wasn't dead.
Still.
No, it wasn't. It was cold.
Cold. Yeah. It has been chilly, hasn't it, across Scotland.
Always good, isn't it?
Your segues are classy.
Across Scotland, yeah, we've had some snow still falling this morning, but across Scotland, still in that chilly air, as I mentioned, so temperatures here about 3 to 5 degrees. Now, at Murrayfield, temperatures about 7 Celsius with a fair amount of cloud, and even at Twickenham, there could be the odd spot of rain this afternoon for the England v Wales game.
You need to hear what Simon has to say. Always. I love Lytham St Anne's.
Do you?
Yeah, I think that beach is so beautiful, and obviously it has a very great golf course.
Of course, yeah, that's the real reason.
That's one of the reasons.
Well, you go there often, at least.
But this is a beautiful scene.
Lovely. This is this morning, just a short time ago.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a fairly quiet start, and you may or may not be able to see this, I don't know, but just here, can you see this?
Which one is it?
Rainbowy little bright spot there? Maybe not. It's a sundog.
I can see it.
It's a sundog.
Sundog.
Yes, dog. D-O-G.
Sundog?
Sundog.
You'll have to explain now.
It's a parhelion. So basically, around the sun, you have ice crystals and stuff in a higher atmosphere. And it's an atmospheric optic, basically. And it basically means that light from the sun gets reflected at 90 degrees from the sun, and it creates these mock suns, they're called. So often they are a bit brighter, so it might look like the sun.
So it looks like a second
It looks like a second sun. And you might often get one the other side as well. Not in this case, but just a little thing there. Anyway, I just noticed that. I just spotted it.
A sundog. I've learned something. It's great.
Anyway, it's not a bad start today for many of us, actually. We've got some bright spells out there. Also, a bit of fog across parts of the Midlands into southern England.
Well, later this month, that's what happened, and experts say the collection's likely to fetch at least $10 million. I suppose one of the things is, because of those distinctive initials, it's kind of silly if you had a pair of boots with E&J on and if they didn't match your name.
Well, if you think about wearing them.
Yeah.
Well, I think on the whole, people are just going to put them on the, on a cupboard somewhere and point at them. On the,
would you put them on
shoes
your
on the mantelpiece? I think that's bad.
Think that's
Isn't that
right.
bad luck or something?
I don't know.
Just shoes anywhere but the floor.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's grubby. Just don't do it. But it just doesn't work, does it?
Put them on display somewhere, wouldn't you?
If you don't have the initials. Anything take your fancy there?
Not really. Although I learnt the piano when I was younger.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything that I learnt except for one song.
Go on.
Song for Guy by Elton John.
Beautiful.
So maybe I should.
It's interesting, Simon, because we've got a piano just round the back. Well, the bulletin at 9:15. We'll bring it on. We'd like to see that.
Yeah, there you go.
That?
Everyone can wait for that. Fabulous. What song are you singing when it comes to the weather?
I don't know. Don't blame it on the weatherman.
Bring Me Sunshine.
Bring Me Sunshine, yeah, all those. Because actually, you know what? We had a lot of rainfall over the last few days, and actually there are still about 100 flood warnings in force, actually, across England and Wales. But things are a little bit quieter for this weekend for many of us. This is the scene this morning. We've had some mist and some fog patches around, particularly around parts of Wales through eastern and central parts of England. But much of that fog is going to clear away, and there'll be some bright spells with 1 or 2 scattered showers.
It's price relevant, though, isn't it? As we were saying earlier on, Simon, these things are not going to go cheap, are they?
They're not. Not 50 quid for a jacket, is it?
No.
But if you've got the imagination, and you know, you don't need to have the money, you can imagine it. I saw you imagining kind of when you did the yeses.
Simon in those boots, yeah, absolutely.
You were thinking
very much what I was thinking.
You were thinking of Simon in Elton John's boots, OK.
Why not?
Yeah, I can see it. Why not? And a jacket, the whole hog. Let's do it. You're going to pay for it though, Charlie, yeah? Good morning. It's been very wet recently across parts of England and Wales. There are still around about 100 flood warnings in force across England and Wales. That's just one river there in Kent, very swollen, of course. You can just see the signposts here underwater. But for many of us, it's a fairly quiet weekend, or quieter than it's been recently. There are some fog patches out, particularly around eastern areas of England.
Morning. That's not nice.
No, not really. Yeah, quite foggy this morning across parts of Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. Also a few fog patches also in Northern Ireland.
So be careful if you're driving.
Yes, and it'll stick around for the next hour or so. But for many of us, actually a quieter weekend than we've seen in the last few days, really. It's been very wet, hasn't it? There are still 100 flood warnings in force across England and Wales. But some serenity this morning. Look at that in Wigan. A fairly decent sunrise there with some clear spells above. And as we go through this weekend, for many of us, there will be some bright, maybe some sunny spells. Also, though, a few showers. Temperatures around about typical for the time of year, 7 to 10 degrees, perhaps just a little bit low compared to the time of year. But then as we go through the rest of the week, temperatures will pick up a little bit more into about 13, 14 Celsius in the south, 7 or 8 in the north. Fairly unsettled to go with that as well.